The mahar, my dear brothers and sisters, is something you have to give to the wife that she requests. You don't give it to the father, you don't give it to the brother, you don't give it to anyone. She requests it, and if you are able to fulfill it. Mahar means, loosely said, a bridal gift, but it's compulsory by God, so it's not literally a gift. It's a compulsory giving that you agree. You can agree with her father, she can talk, but she has to agree with it, and she's happy with it. It can be a ring, it can be jewelry, it can be a gold nugget, it can be a land, a car, a house, it can be money, it can be anything. It can be a hajj, a service, doesn't matter. So long as it's within your means, and the easier it is, the better. Some people write, for example, a diamond ring to the value of $4,000, $5,000, and jewelry to the value of, say, $7,000. Some of them do that. Some of them, they say $10,000 put towards the furniture, $5,000 towards jewelry, and $20,000 you give it later when you have it. Some people, they write Hajj trip, a Hajj trip. So if they don't go to Hajj, however, let's say, God forbid, they got divorced or a death happened, we say you give her the equivalent of what Hajj is equal to. Some of them, they agree to other things. Whatever they agree to, it doesn't really matter. Whether it's a lot or a little bit. If you agree to it, it's a debt. And Allah says, give the women their sadaq. Sadaq means the honesty, the token of honesty that you promised, with good-heartedness. Don't even show that you are hesitant after you have agreed to it. If you haven't agreed to it, yeah, you have the right to negotiate. But it's not a business transaction. You are not buying her. It's not a price. If it was a price, we would have said this much. It's not a price. It's what she wants. Why do you do it? Why do we have this? Well, again, you've got to know the roles. The role of the husband is what? To provide and to protect, to look after the best interests and affairs of his family in the first degrees. He's the leader of that. He will be responsible for his wife and children. Part of providing could be money. So in the time of the marriage, okay, it's a form of honesty. If you really are true to your word that you will provide my daughter, and and she says you provide for me, then she requests this. You give it, if you can. So it's a token of honesty. Number two, it's a proof that you can provide. Number three, it is a gift to make her feel that she's special. This is other than the wedding ring. This is called the mahr. And number four, it is to show the seriousness of the contract. Now there's a psychology to men and women. We're a bit different in our psychology. I'll give you an example. Have you ever been to an all-you-can-eat place? No? No, you haven't. Here in Australia we have all-you-can-eat. Hands up if you've been to all-you-can-eat. Come on, give yourselves up. Who goes to an all-you-can-eat? I can see you do. Habibi, that's good. It costs a lot of money to have that, mashallah. Brother, the belly is beautiful, son. It's very attractive to some women. Ala kulli hal, brothers and sisters, you go to an all-you-can-eat. Your wife goes to get her food from all-you-can-eat. There's 100 different foods there. What do? The wife and her sisters and the daughters. And then the husband comes along. This is what I've seen. The wife goes, I think that green color there is nice. I like that yellow thing. It looks nice. And they take one little piece and put it on their plate. Then they get another little piece. And it's like, it's just fun for them. It's like colorful food. The husband comes up and says, my God, I've paid $500 for this. I've got to eat the worth of $500. He goes and gets all the food, whether he likes it or doesn't. He gets the spaghetti, the rice, the chicken, the fried stuff. The stuff's going to give him a heart attack. I don't care. I've got to eat $500 worth. Isn't that right? So for the money, psychologically, his pocket is very important. For the wife, it's more about, cosmetics and enjoyment and happiness, so long as we're together. It doesn't matter about money. This is in generally speaking. In general, the husband, his pocket is very, very precious. And the wife, she also finds her husband's pocket precious, inshaAllah. But Allah knows. Give from that which you find so precious. Give from your wealth to this woman that you're going to marry. Show that you are prepared, and that materialism is nothing to you, inshaAllah. You're not afraid to spend on your family. So, having said this, brothers and sisters, there is a psychological difference, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it compulsory. If the mahr has not been agreed upon before the contract of marriage, it's okay. The contract of marriage is still valid, but it's owed. You have to agree on it. If you don't agree during your whole married life, let's say you got married and there was no mahr, and the husband died and never gave her the right, then if she wants it, we ask her. She might say, I don't want any mahr. Then that's okay. Allah says in the Quran, if you have agreed on a mahr and she forgives it all out of her own goodwill without being pressured or asked, Allah says then there's no harm upon you, O men, keep the mahr. But if she wants it, you must give it to the last cent, to the last gold nugget, everything, to the last coin. So if he dies and there was no mahr agreed upon, then she is given a mahr equal to the women who are like her in her own caliber and finances and family lifestyle. Or she might say it's okay, or she can name it, or she can say I forgive. Does that make sense? Subhanallah. And if they divorce and he hasn't written a mahr, then Allah says in the Quran, you must be generous without her asking, give her lots, help her, be generous to her, like give her gifts. Just out of, it happened, the divorce, there's heartbroken, be generous to her. She's still your sister in Islam. One brother, he said to his friend, I'm getting divorced. He said, why? What did your wife do? He goes, she's my wife. No man with loyalty and honor talks about his wife. She's still my wife, man. We're going to get divorced. So anyway, the guy got divorced. His friend comes up, he goes, now that you're divorced, what did she do? He's a bit of a nosy bugger. So he comes up and says, she's still in her iddah. In Islam, there's 3 menstrual cycles that the wife has to go through, in the hope that maybe they'll reconcile. That's why Allah put that iddah. He goes, she's in her iddah, man. She's still my wife. We're just, separated. I won't talk about my wife. Then the iddah went over and she was completely divorced, gone. He said, no, she's no longer your wife. What'd she do? He says, Habibi, before she was my wife, now she's my sister in Islam and she's someone else's daughter. A Muslim doesn't talk about other people's daughters. So he never got anything out of him. And that's, inshallah, that we can learn from this, brothers and sisters. Don't talk about, even if you got divorced, whatever happened. At the end of the day, brothers and sisters, things go wrong sometimes, unless you have to, unless you need to protect yourself or to defend yourself, especially if laws involved. And you have to, just say what's necessary. But don't go on a vendetta fighting each other. Brothers and